people typically are not ready just to bring people into their mess. You know, It's like, that's. Would you be more ready to accept financial help or
emotional help?
Welcome to another episode of Unanswered. This is a podcast where we love to think, question, and connect. We use idioms, phrases, and famous sayings from different cultures to examine life's biggest problems and to help you find the answers. My name is Joe.
And I'm Joyce. We are an American family living in the beautiful coastal city of Jazan in Saudi Arabia.
We love to bridge generations, nations, and stations. It's one of the reasons we started the podcast. And we also want to give you guys a small glimpse into our lives. But before we do any of that, we want you to go ahead, push the subscribe button, okay? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, and on LinkedIn.
We have another idiom phrase today, and we've been on a roll actually lately with the Chinese ones.
Yes.
Do we have another Chinese one today?
We do. It's the Cantonese one.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, it's 家家有本難念的經. Want to try?
Is that Canto? That's Canto.
It's Canto.
You say it one more time.
家家有本難念的經. Literally, it means every family has a difficult scripture or sutra to recite.
What does that even mean? Okay, yeah, we need to figure out what this means. Let's watch the video.
Yeah.
Because I want to get a grasp. So watch the video, and then we'll come back after this, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
家家有本難念的經. Every family has its own difficult sutra to read. A Cantonese proverb. It's the mid-20th century in a typical middle-class home in Hong Kong. The family gathers around the dinner table after a long day. Someone sighs, complains about money, or a stubborn relative, or a child who won't listen. Then the wise grandma looks up calmly and says, "Ai, 家家有本難念的經." Every family has its own difficult scripture to recite. The metaphor originated from Buddhist background. Chanting sutra is hard work and repetitive. Each household has its own tough passages, like debt, illness, in-law tensions, secrets, regrets. No one can hand their book to someone else to read, nor can they read their friends. Your family's troubles are uniquely yours to bear. Over decades, the line becomes a gentle reminder in everyday Cantonese life. Don't judge too quickly. Don't think your neighbor's home is perfect just because the outside looks sparkly. Everyone's quietly struggling through their own difficult verses. So next time you feel tempted to compare your struggles with someone else's highlight reel, remember the old family wisdom that has no famous author, only countless quiet voices. Understanding that simple truth is often the first step towards real compassion.
Wow. So
the Buddhist scriptures are very repetitive.
Okay.
So it's hard to read.
Right.
So you take that idea and you basically apply it to every family has its own set of unique troubles.
Okay, so every family has its own story.
Yes.
Every family has its own story, their own narrative that is being written.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some are hard to read, meaning it's like debt, relationships, illness.
Yes.
Relationship with a family member. Like those are all hard things.
So basically, what she's saying is, don't just look at a situation from the outside and try to make a judgment call about it, right?
Yes.
If I could give an English equivalent, it'd be like, don't judge a book by its cover or something
Similar.
like that. Except this is more specific toward family right now.
Yes.
For family and familial situations.
Yes.
Right?
Because don't judge a book by its cover, in my mind, is more like you apply it to individuals.
Or to items even.
To items or like situations or even companies or
Right.
organizations. But this Cantonese phrase is particularly...
For families.
Yeah, for families.
This is talking about families.
Yeah.
But it's basically, don't look at a situation from the outside, a familiar situation from the outside, and think you understand or know everything that's going on the inside.
Yes.
Right? It's basically saying don't judge the situation, right? But I think that that becomes problematic sometimes because people say that all the time. Like, don't judge, don't judge, don't judge,
And don't judge me.
Don't judge me. And I think they don't necessarily mean what they're saying, right?
Tell me more.
So, because they're like, well, don't judge the situation. And I know I may be getting off topic, but I think that we have to come down to understanding the difference between judging a situation and passing judgment on a situation. Basically, like making observations about a situation. There's that type of judgment, but then there's passing sentence or condemning, right? And those are two different things.
Oh, so judgment versus condemnation.
Judgment versus condemnation.
Oh, wow.
Right? So...
Yes, I see what you mean because it really bugs me. I'm a very literal black and white person, and it really bugs me when people are like, "Oh, don't judge me." My brain does not compute. Like when people say that, my brain would go, "Do not compute." Like it doesn't make sense
because they're using the word, but I don't think they're using the word in the way they mean or the way that it should be used. Right? Because if you're saying don't judge me, that doesn't make sense. Why? Because I make judgments all the time. I have to make choices.
All day.
About whatever is happening in front of me, I'm always making choices. If I don't use any of my judgment, then I'm a vegetable. Right? I mean,
nothing gets done. The world does not move.
So I have to use judgment. And so what I think it's more saying is not just don't judge, but don't pass judgment. Don't condemn.
Don't sentence me.
Yeah, don't condemn this person, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to make judgments, you have to make decisions, but be careful about passing or condemning a certain situation or a family very quickly just by seeing what's on the outside. Does that make sense?
Yes. That makes sense.
Yeah, because even if we take the phrase "don't judge a book by its cover," which I mentioned before, the phrase states "don't judge a book by its cover" It means that it implies that you have to judge, right?
Just don't judge too quickly.
Right?
Don't judge when you see a book.
Yes.
Don't judge
just by its cover. Read the rest of it.
Yes, you have to read
go
it.
in and exactly. Don't judge it just by its cover.
Judge.
And then make a judgment. But even in that judgment, don't necessarily be quick to condemn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I think that's the spirit behind this saying.
Behind the saying.
Yes.
And so when we apply this and take it from the aspect and apply it to the family, basically what it's saying is you can see what's going on the outside of a family and immediately jump to conclusions and condemn that family.
Yes.
And it's like, don't do that. Don't automatically condemn. Make sure you understand.
Because they're like, we've seen so many instances where a family unit looks so good on the outside, husband and wife, they're so beautiful,
you
handsome,
see it on Instagram
beautiful,
every single day. I mean, not just Instagram, but social media. But
perfect kids who get straight A's and plays 1,000 sports and musical instruments, right?
Yes.
They're great. And then so in your mind, you're like, oh man, if only, right? If only I have that. If only this is this. I'm this is this. But you don't get to see the behind the scenes.
What's going on the inside?
The truth is, even though the rich, the poor, the famous, the nobodies, we all have issues.
We all have our stuff that we're going through.
Yes.
We all have stuff.
We all have stuff. And even honestly, people have said that about us behind our backs. You know, but they didn't know. I mean,
they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
We've been struggling with health, health issues.
Yes. We're still working on health issues.
Still working on health issues. Remember, in a previous episode, you were saying a great mentor of yours said, may all your problems be financial.
May all your problems be financial.
Yes, we deeply feel that because when you're struggling with
health issues, those are harder to fix than financial.
I'll pay all my money to have this go away.
Yes.
But then you've got people jealous of you.
And they didn't see
the days when I couldn't get out of bed.
Yes.
They didn't see the days that we're struggling big time.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And so it becomes a challenge for us to really make sure that we understand what's going on in a situation before we pass judgment in a situation, right?
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about families. And if I can say it even a better way is to make sure that we're having compassion, right? But if I can say this, I want to say this. That compassion should drive us not to just allow anything to happen, though, right? Because I think people can take this phrase and use it in a different way. It's like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep my nose out of their business.
To justify indifference.
Yes.
Apathy.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, like just let them be.
Just
yes,
let them be.
that is a thing, actually. Like, but then if we see, hints or like signs of real problems in a family, like what do we do?
Right. Once again, so should I tell this story? I was working in China at one point and knew a person who was living with her parents at that point. There were some questions about whether there was some abuse going on in the home or something like that. And nobody said anything, because you got to be careful of cultures and all this other stuff as well. But one day, this girl calls me on the phone, and I pick up my phone, and all I hear is, "Joe, help!" And the phone hung up.
Oh, no.
I heard like screaming in the background. That's all I heard. And from there,
oh, no.
I didn't even know where she lived. So I had to call like some of our mutual friends, find out where she lived. I drove straight to her house. And I got to her house. And I hear the rumbling coming on. Knock on the door. No one will answer the door. I kick the door in.
Kick the door in?
Kick the door in. Kick the door in. Go in. And she's bawling. Grab her father. Calm it down. And just like, you don't put hands on this girl. Wow. Now, I'm not saying that to talk about like being a tough guy or anything like that. You know my past. And so I'm like really zealous for anyone who's being bullied or abused or anything like that. But there was a situation. We handled the situation. We were able to get them the help that they needed, right? And so that's what I'm saying is we can't turn a blind eye to those type of situations where abuse or manipulation, like to that degree, whatever the case is happening. We can't turn a blind eye to those things. We have to do something, right?
So you're saying we can't use this saying as an excuse to turn a blind eye.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
It's a hard balance, though.
It's a hard balance. But I think it's within there. It's still in the saying. It makes sense. Because if we take the saying is like, yes, look on the outside, but see what's on the inside as well.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's saying look on the outside, but don't worry about whatever's going on. It's saying look on the outside, but see what's on the inside as well. And there are a lot of families out there who need help, to be totally honest, who are hurting. And there's devastating thing that happens in families, in family homes and family circles. Yeah. And so we want families to be actually that, families, safe places where people can be safe, where they can be whole, where it's the oasis of safety. You know what I mean? Yeah. And many times that may not be the case for some people, but that's the goal, is for everybody to get the help that they need. So
going back to the Chinese saying, I think there is a sense, though, like in our culture, the family is sacred. It's private. Let's say
it's very private. Yes,
the family is private, and you don't go prying into other families' business.
Right.
So I think, unfortunately, this saying carries with it that sense of avoidance that you were just talking about.
Right.
Like in the traditional sense of this, in the traditional spirit of this saying, I think, and as a people, I think we're not like the most like confronting people in the world.
So this is a very good question. It brings up a very good question. And part of that question is, what's the level? Where do we intervene and where do we say we just ignore, right?
In terms of families.
In terms of families, other families and being involved or whatever the case may be, right? Like, what's the level? At what stage do I say? Because you're right. There is a level of privacy that needs to be had within families as well. Yes. But what's the level where we say, okay, yes, we don't understand there's privacy, but somebody needs to get involved?
Okay, but then like it gets messy because everyone's values are different, value systems are different, right?
Yes.
Their belief systems different. So what's okay in one family may not be okay with another family. For example, like going back to like the girl, you know, I don't agree with it, but what if the dad thinks, hey, this is my daughter, I could discipline her however I want? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's hard for you because of your experience with abuse, with your value system.
Right.
This is very messy because
it becomes very messy. But I think at some point, unless we all agree that there's some moral hierarchy or moral objectivity that we ascribe to, then we're going to be all over the place. And I would say that there is some higher level of moral superiority or moral objectivity that we have to ascribe to just as humans, where a human has to have a certain amount of dignity, right? A human deserves a certain amount of dignity. Well, I don't care what family they're in. They deserve a certain amount of dignity. And I think it's important for us to get to that. If we don't have that, then things get screwed up very quickly.
But that's the reality, isn't it? Like, and we see it every day with how people are treated, right? Like,
absolutely.
So it's like it's a little nihilistic in the sense that, like, dang, like you see this problem, but there's like no real way to fix it.
Yeah.
Because
you're right. It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. And okay, I think it's easier. Like, let's say we're Americans. So if we're in America, I know there are lots of division in our country right now. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about, like, we have the Constitution, we have the law, we have a basis, a really firm basis. You know, other countries do too. Like, they have their own religion and they have their own laws. But then when, like, a mix of culture comes into play, right?
It becomes a messy situation.
It becomes
very
messy because what's allowed in my culture might not be
allowed
in
this culture.
In this culture.
In this culture or that culture or that culture.
So how do you, when you notice trouble in another family's home, do you go, "家家有本難念的經," and then you just like go, you know what? Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah.
Or
not my circus, not my monkeys.
Sorry. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Not my circus, not my monkeys. Yeah.
Or do you intervene? Like,
and I think
it's rough.
I think there's a level when someone's life is at stake. I think that's probably one of those levels.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And in that situation I got involved in, I think that her life was probably at stake.
Yes.
Definitely
I'm not
physical harm. No. I didn't think you were,
you.
but I'm just saying that's definitely a level that I would say that you have to intervene, you know, or someone should intervene. But once again, our goal is not to be political, but just to, like, really try to understand, because it's a great saying, but understanding what's behind it is also important as well. And it's part of our goal, once again, to bridge generations, nations, and stations.
Yes.
And this is one of those areas, like, we have to have these type of conversations in order to bridge those generations, nations, and stations.
And we will talk about things that are not talked about.
We'll talk about things that are not talked about, and we'll talk about the hard topics and the hard situations. This is one of them.
And we don't have an answer. We don't.
We don't have the answer. We have answers. They may not be the answer, but you understand?
Yes,
right?
yes. I mean, like, honestly, speaking from my perspective, knowing my tendencies and my personalities, like, I will be your nosiest friend. Like, I'd be like, what's going on?
What's going on in your life?
What's going on? Right. Like, what's behind this?
Right.
Like, why? Well, why do you have a black eye? Like, why?
Well, that's one of the questions too, is being able to ask questions, like this says, to be able to look in and ask questions. I think that's important. Like, for instance, in the situation I talked about, if it was my very first time hearing, I might do a bit more investigation.
Right.
Right. But I'd already known from before that you understand, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, or had seen bruises before.
Yeah.
So this was like, well, this is not happening.
Yes,
again,
yes.
Right? You understand?
You immediately.
So I immediately, it wasn't like,
knew.
oh, out of nowhere, this girl calls me, screams, and no.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
It's hard. It's hard to know when and how to react in these situations because you don't really know how you're reacting till you actually like come into the situation. But to have I think that some of us have actually encountered situations like this where we should get involved or there's a question. Have any of you ever encountered a situation like this? What did you do? Do you agree with the saying? Like, it's great. It's a great question. Like, let us know in the comments. Let us know how you handled the situation. If you've been in a situation like this where there was something going on in the family. Also answer this question about what is the level? Like, where do you think the level starts? Where does it end? Where does it end?
Where should you get involved?
Where should you get involved? Where should we have other people get involved? Where I think that it's easy in places where there's laws put in place regarding certain things to get other people involved, but it may not necessarily be, So
I mean, okay, let's take a step back because we were talking about like physical abuse or verbal abuse.
Yeah.
家家有本難念的經, like as the animation showed, like the difficult scripture could be financial.
It could be, yes.
Right? It could be different things. So it's not just about,
We just did that because I came up with the story.
Yes,
but
yes.
it could be financial. It could be.
So if you know that a friend is struggling financially,
right?
What are our obligations as friends?
That's a great question, actually.
If your friends are struggling to pay bills this month, they can't make rent.
I think those situations are a bit simpler because
it's a bit black and white. I don't know if it's simpler because it's like, when it talks about money, we all get funny.
We all get funny when it talks about money.
Don't we? Like,
man, people even in their families get funny with money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh wow.
Well, because I mean, like, there's so many aspects to it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. For me, I'm always like, if I see people struggling in that way, I'm like, well, once again, may all your problems be financial. So, and there's always a way to make money.
Yeah.
Always. So it's like, any way that I can help, I want to help,
Yeah.
In fact, one of my favorite things, one of my favorite Instagrams to check out is the one where they give people money on the street and they, and it's like, oh man, I needed this. I love that.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we're able to do that because, man, I am looking forward to the day where we can just find people on the street and be like, bam, there you go.
Bless you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. So, but I'm saying like, yeah, I think that's not simpler as in, oh, that's easy to fix, but simpler as in it's easier to get involved.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's easier to get involved in a financial situation than it is like
an emotional situation,
or abusive situation.
Yes.
Yeah, even health situation.
Yeah.
Those are harder. Financial ones are much easier to get involved with. And people are more ready, I believe, to accept any type of help in those situations more than the other ones.
You think so?
For the most part, sometimes for the most part, I think it's. What do you think? What do you guys think?
We don't got it.
It's called unanswered for a reason.
So we need your help. What do you think?
What do you think? Honestly, would you be more ready to accept financial help or medical help? I'll say, or health, or help with like family issues, like as far as like relationships and
emotional help.
See, even just thinking about it, it gives you the heebie-jeebies. It's like,
I don't know.
People typically are not ready just to bring people into their mess.
No.
It's like, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Whereas if somebody's like, hey, can I get? I'm like, yeah, I don't mind. It's like,
and then like honestly, even with the financial bit, like, I think I would like to think that most people would be theoretically willing to help, But there are also people who are like leeches, who abuse the system,
Yes.
who who'd rather not work and just borrow money forever.
Yes.
And so helping those people becomes enabling.
Yeah.
And
it's a liability.
Yes. So you don't want to do that either. So I don't know.
But we have jumped all over the place from where our saying really was, okay? And that is basically not judging the family just by what you see on the outside. And we've gone into all these issues. We have opened up Pandora's box on all of the issues that happen, and we cannot answer all of those questions today, actually, right?
No.
Because I think each one of those situations we could turn into its own episode. Honestly,
Yes.
we could turn into its own episode. And so,
But guys, this is what I would say. Have wisdom. Chase wisdom. If you're going to chase anything in life, wisdom would be it.
Yeah.
Because if you have wisdom, it would guide you, it would lead you to make good judgment calls in all these situations.
right?
Because they're all different.
They are all
They're
different.
all different. And there's no formula that anybody can give you. If
Right.
someone tells you on Instagram they have the surefire way to fix family troubles or to solve family feuds, just scroll on past. They are lying to you. It's not true. It's so complicated. It's so messy. It's not true. But if you have wisdom, you'd be able to find a way out.
Yeah. And I think it's great to mention that wisdom may not necessarily just come from ourselves, but it's great to seek wisdom from other individuals who may have gone through those situations.
Yes.
Because wisdom is applied knowledge, right?
Yes.
So yeah, if we can actually get it from other people as well, it's beneficial. So people who have gone through and have been successful in those different areas, whatever the case may be, it's extremely helpful. So yes. Does that make sense?
It does.
Wow, we covered a lot today, and I'm
know
not
how
sure.
helpful that
I don't know. I feel worse off than when we began. I'm I am now more confuzzled, discombobulated. Yes. So no, but it's something that we have to keep talking through. Maybe we'll have to do a second one on this one, just talking about the family and all those other topics that we brought up, which are crazy. So, but we want to thank you guys for joining us. We're getting close to the end here. So we want to thank each one of you for joining in. But before we go, we want to ask each one of you to go ahead and press that subscribe button.
And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, and on LinkedIn. Also, don't forget, we have a website, unANSWERED100.com. Come visit us, drop us a note. Yeah, come find us, unANSWERED100 everywhere.
On all social
And
media platforms.
on our website.
unANSWERED100.com. Sound good? Gravy. All right. Thank you guys for joining us again. Come visit us in design. Leave us some comments. And also, let us know if there's an Arabic equivalent to this saying. I totally forgot to ask that. Let us know if there's an Arabic equivalent. All right. We'd love to hear that too. Leave us any other questions or comments or themes or anything else in the comments. We'll see you next time.